Don't underestimate writing a song and putting it on paper first, and then go in there and play around with it. But today I'm in the booth again. This is basically where you sit down and you got a mic for the guitar. These are line mics for the guitar. So this is the room I pretty much carpeted to deaden the sound. Did a little ripple thing here, little mouse shelf so I could have the signal inside here as well. You know, you probably see that little mouse running around there. There you go. And just keyboard effects, everything. There's a lot to it. But anyway, I was thinking about that. Today, right now, I'm going to come in here and redo the rhythm because now I've got a preamp and two decent mics and a decent little room to set up to try to get a really nice sounding acoustic guitar. So on this wall is the Taylor. That's no use. I'm going to probably capo that thing, and you know, little things like that chair on the side of the road. You know, a lot of this is all carpeted, so it's not bad. This is the thinking chair sometimes when I think. And so spent the last couple of days just rearranging things. Had to move the bass amp out because I'm taking the bass pretty much now just, well, I'll turn this light on up here. It'll be a little easier to see. Yeah. And anyway, turn this, get rid of that for a minute and bring up the session. So you can see there's the session. And that's the latest big toy. That's a 12 channel. Actually, it's got 14 channels, but it's 12 channel. But it plays back on 13 and 14 stereo. It's got a main out for live playing. It's called Studio Live. You can do it either way. It's a mixer and an interface, and I am enjoying it. It's really working well. This little guy here is a preamp, so that line coming in is the main mic of the acoustic room, and then it's heading out into the mixer, into the session. So I got to learn how to live stream so I can explain the session a little better. So this back here, you see all these cables. These are the different TVs. Right now that one's going to the booth, so I'll just leave it. You know, this one here goes over to that drum set in the bedroom one. So when I want to watch TV at night, it'll go over to that one. And this also I put on a swing. I'm going to move that one more time. What's going on? Anyway, it goes one way or the other. Probably got something in the way right now. And so it will head that way when you're on the drums. So you just gotta do something above it so the wires don't get tangled up. I hadn't really done that yet, but this is a drum area when you really want to dial in some custom drums, some rolls, little sound paneling. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. These two guitars here. That one there has some very light electric guitar strings, so I can put a capo on it and get a very high, almost in a mandolin sound, but that's for just a little sparkle on this if you're doing a rhythm on that guitar. And that one actually is the opposite. It's got some real thick strings with a low frequency sound, old Gibson. And out here, I'm not going to go out there too much, a little cold out there, is now the electric amp booth. That's a pretty decent amp. It's the Vox. And the idea there is to catch it off the speaker so you get a tube sound on your electric guitar. Probably run other things to it, but basically this is dedicated to a solid signal. And I do the mic out here now because of the long run there in the hallway, and these panels I made here just get rid of the floor while you're recording, so I just made them so they go together pretty quick, which I fool with a little bit, and so on and so forth. You put these two there, one's around the rail, and it will make a nice little booth for the amp. I had the amp in the small booth, but it was so powerful in such a box, I could hear the boxy sound coming out, and it needed a little more run. Same with vocals, it just sounds better with more run, that seems like. So I just made some sound panels and blankets, whatever. And this again has a screen TV up there when you come out here to sing, so you can operate from here. I just used that little table for the mouse, and probably got to make a little stand for the keyboard out here as well. I can pretty much do this session off the mouse, so it works. Might put a mood light out there. And kind of there's a lot more to explain to this, but you know, little things like monitors and cords and racks and the cube. I play the electric through that and run a line in. I do a parallel mix, so the back of that is this blue line here is coming out of the headphones. That's going right into channel 4. This one's going over to that amp in the hallway, and then that one comes back around. Really down under there, there's a DI box, and it comes back through, and that would be this guy. And it's a stereo channel too, so I can get either mono or stereo. I don't really go for it. I kind of stay mono, but if I wanted to just have a stereo track, I can do that as well. I like to do mono, and that way I can go left and right, and then I can double them again and have 4 tracks, and I can do stereo that way or whatever. And so it's been fun. And I always wanted a Marshall amp. That's one of those little pocket amps. That's my son's amp. This is the old mixer, but that's the one I'll use live out. Bring that out live with that cube right there. Got a little bit of soldering to do for that one. I got a line that puts one more speaker on it. And that black guitar is Josh's. His friend left that to him. His friend had died. His mother thought he should have it, and it plays well. And the bass, again, I run that through the preamp, and that's the guitar I've been using lately. I jump between those two guitars. They're very similar. I think the black one has a little more guts to it if you want a little more of that sound. That one's a little bit cleaner, the Fender. And that is a BC Rich. This is kind of a student brand, but it plays alright, but boy, sure would like to have a good old Fender. And this is a Fender. This is the Japanese-made Fender, probably coming in third with the American, Mexican, Japan. But the reason I like this one is it's got a lot more guts, I think. But I still like the American Tele. I had a Mexican one years ago, and probably see what happens. So this is the setup. Down there is a which I haven't really used much of. It rocks the house a little bit. It's just sub bass. Gives you that real thumping sound, although I have not really mixed it into anything. And that's the old interface on top of it I'm not using right now. So another monitor there. So I'm going to look into getting a splitter or something so I can get these monitors all come on so I don't have to keep jumping cords, or at least a switch. I know they got them. I just got to take time out to think that one out. And then I'm thinking about a plumber's pipe, cutting it in half, going across that ceiling. So I haven't driven any nails or anything into this building except finish nails into those walls, into that higher trim on both ends. And that's just basically a freestanding wall. Nothing in the floors at all. I don't want to hurt the carpet or anything original. But that whole booth was made out of, you know, a little bit of money and a lot of throwaway stuff. The inside panels, the whole thickness of that plywood on the insides, and some of the carpet was just stuff I had hanging around, and I bought some of the boards. I didn't even know what I got into it. But like I said, there's no real any damages or, you know, holes or anything weird. See what happened up against this wall with the carpet? I just flipped it over and stapled everything that way. Nothing that way, except the nails that are holding it up. They're 2 good solid finish nails. I think I got one down below. The rest of it's floating. Just a floating deal. And like things like this thing I found on the side of the road. I still got all the steel from it, which I might make a rack out of later. But just a little heads up. These drums belong to Mike Smith. A friend of mine dropped them off, which inspired me to make a drum station. So eventually I'll do some live streaming. Have some fun with it.